Hey everybody, welcome back to the Flipping Junkie podcast and video log. I'm in a parked car. I'm not driving this time. I guess some people are concerned for my safety, worried about me driving and recording videos that I might get in an accident or something. But I'm waiting for my dad, going to meet him for breakfast and talk shop and everything. He's a house flipper too. Learned a lot about what I know from him. So it's really cool to meet up and talk about what we're doing in our businesses and get ideas and stuff like that. But I wanted to talk a little bit, I wanted to expand a little bit more on 2 episodes ago. I think it was episode 70, where I was asking if you are a flip pilot. And what that means is, like, I consider myself to be a flip pilot in that I've learned to realize that I need to have a 30,000 foot view at all times of my flipping business so that I can, tweak the systems and put people in place to help with that business so that I'm not wearing all the hats. I'm not wearing the marketing hat. I'm not wearing the rehab hat, selling hat, and having to do all those things and juggle all those things. And, and I was thinking more about, how cool that is. And I love aviation, so obviously I got to call it like a flip pilot. So it's you're having this 30,000 foot view of your business. And it made me think about in the past, what are the mistakes that I made and that I see other people making when they're not flip pilots. And so one of those things was, I remembered a story of whenever one of our very first rehabs, I was hiring subs to this rehab, and it was actually a burn house, so it was like a tough project. And I had these subs and I had them scheduled, and I was learning how to do all this. I had no idea about construction and how all this stuff worked, and I was just like winging it and hoping I didn't make any huge mistakes. But I remember we were doing demo and then had framing done, and then I had the sheetrockers scheduled. And these guys are really busy and really good at what they do, and so they wanted to make sure the job was ready. Well, the evening before they were going to be there to start hanging the drywall, I realized that all the nails were still in all the 2x4s on this whole house. It's like 3,500 square foot house or something like that, and all the nails, like the sheetrock was ripped off of the walls, but the studs still had all the nails from the sheetrock in them. So I needed to get all of those out, and all the contractors' numbers that I had, they were all busy and couldn't do that in such short notice. So I was thinking I was doing an awesome thing, and I was out there and I was pulling all the nails out with a hammer by myself. And my mentor actually showed up at the house, and I thought he was going to pat me on the back and say, "You're doing what it takes. You're out here pulling these nails out of the studs." And instead, he kind of lit into me. He got angry with me and said, "What are you doing?" And you might think, and at first I was thinking, why is he saying this? I mean, it's not like it's, going to take me 24 hours to do this. It's not that big of a deal. But the thing was, it's like the idea behind it, the idea that I felt like my time was worth pulling those nails out, and the thinking needs to be, your thinking needs to be, what is your time worth, and then what are you doing, and then if you're doing those things, can you find somebody to do it for cheaper than what your time is worth? And so that was the idea behind that was the principle I was supposed to learn. That's why he got so angry with me about it. And so the lesson is to always kind of focus on not doing all that busy work, not doing those things that you don't feel is that big of a deal, but you should be out focused on making offers, to do marketing, to get leads, to be in front of sellers and making offers and getting more deals, not pulling nails out of studs at a house. And so even if you have excuses and you think, well, I didn't have anybody to do it, well, you should work harder and spend the time finding somebody so that next time you do have somebody to pull those nails out of the studs. And so if you didn't listen to the other podcast episode, I think it was 70, be sure to go listen to it about being a flip pilot, because I think it's a huge thing, and I think it's a sort of an epiphany that I've had. And I really want to expand on this, because I really hope that all you guys out there can answer that question of whether you are or not a flip pilot, and that you can answer in the affirmative. And maybe not that you're there right now, but that you're pointing your plane in that direction and heading towards it, so that you can have true freedom in your life and your business that you set out to have when you started flipping houses. So be sure to go back and listen to that episode. This one's just real short one. My dad's pulled up, so we're going to have breakfast and talk to you guys next time.